Here's the first. This is the problem with all of entertainment right now. This sentence summarizes entertainment's failings. We're adults making the movies, and we're making them for ourselves, really, secretly. Although we know kids are going to see them too, right? We want it to be universal. We wanted to speak specifically about Dami's experience growing up in Toronto as a girl and as a Chinese Canadian, but also universally to everybody, because I think everyone's grown up. Everyone knows what that's about. It's not an easy time. But that first sentence, you are not making the movie for you. The movie is not for you. It's not for you. It's not for you. Make the movie for the fucking consumer, because it's not for you. We're treating girlhood as complex and as authentically as we treat so many stories of boyhood that are already in the culture. Yeah, with tons of Disney Pixar movies about that first time that a young boy jerks off. I mean, those are all over the place, you know? It's quintessential boyhood. Or My First Boner, a charming tale about a skeleton that finds a pair of fleshy breasts and suddenly can't move at all. In fact, he's paralyzed. He's paralyzed and his arms are stuck down at his waist. He can't bend anymore, and he's just stuck in this straight up position. Everybody laughs at him. Let's do that. That's a comparable story. For me, I think what I really love is seeing older men being like, I love this movie because of my daughter. There's something in there for all of us. If you said this, I personally want to deliver a backhand to whatever man has said this. Now, notice she's saying this before the movie's release, so we don't know that any man actually ended up saying this. But they should be back. They should be backhanded immediately. This is not a helpful movie for a daughter. Let's see. Blah 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 blah. We make these films for the big screen, and we want to see them. Truth is that the family audiences in particular aren't really going back to theaters yet. Think that's going to change with time. So here you go. Here's Billie Eilish is Billie Eilish. I don't know. Always looks a little downsy to me. But yeah, this movie. Let me just say, I opened up the stream with this, so this is a little bit of a rehash. But let me be clear. This is the most recent Pixar movie. It is about a Chinese Canadian girl growing up in Toronto who hits 13 years old, has a tiger mom, has her period, and rebels against her mom during her period until her mom has a bigger period. And then all of the mom's sisters and the grandmother unite in a flowing, disgusting, awful smelling teamwork period together. Their cycles all sync up at the end of the movie to save the mom who has the biggest period of all of them. And I wish I was fucking kidding, but that's what happens. The daughter has her period, gets in a fight with her mom, who's been holding it in, holding it back, and she just can't stop the flow. And she has a period, and she turns into a red panda that's the size of a fucking kaiju. And she's ripping open buildings like, where are you, bitch daughter? And then she gets knocked out by the power of children, gets knocked unconscious by her daughter delivering a fatal headbutt. And she has to have all of her aunties and her grandma cast off their aura of control and literally let the red flow so that they all turn into giant red leaky vagina pandas so that they have enough woman strength through menstruation to drag this bitch and her giant kaiju body back into a circle of Chinese ching chong magic, in which David Lopan is up there casting the spell that will bring her back to her human self from beyond the grave. Indeed. And this is the movie. I'm not creative enough to make this up. So this literally happens in the movie. This can't be real. You all say it. Hold on. Turning Red is a good conversation starter and not just for girls. Some parents don't like its depictions of adolescent rebellion, periods, and sexuality, but experts say those topics are appropriate for family discussion. Here, see, this is her on her period right here. Disney's newest animated film, Turning Red, in which an adolescent girl contends with puberty, cultural expectations, and her newfound tendency to turn into a giant red panda when overtaken by emotions, has viewers buzzing. By the way, when she's in school, and so here's the thing: as long as she's calm, as she achieves her Chinese yin yang Zen bullshit, she stays a girl rather than a panda. But as she's in school and like her emotions start to take over, and she's on a hair trigger, so her emotions take over. Like, she has a giant furry panda tail pop out of her skirt, and she has to tuck that back in, like cover up her leg skirt area, and scurry off into a bathroom. And then when she's sitting in her chair, her mom realized from home that she left her maxi pads at home. So the mom runs to the school and yells that you left your maxi pads at home to the poor little 13-year-old girl who's having her red panda period in school. This is in the movie. I wish I was making any of this up. Although critical reviews of the film have been largely positive, some viewers, especially parents, have had a rather different take. Some have been aghast that the movie discusses menstruation. Others dislike its exploration of romantic crushes and sexuality, and still others are upset that the main character, 13-year-old Mai Li, rebels against her parents by repeatedly lying and sneaking out. One amateur reviewer wrote on the website Rotten Tomatoes that the movie suggests being rude to your parents and family is okay if you're an adolescent hitting puberty. This person's retarded. Go away. What a shit review. Yet child psychologists say it's unlikely that the movie will promote bad or salacious behavior. Yeah, it's not bad because the kid is rebellious. All sorts of movies have rebellious teenagers. That is literally the farthest thing from anyone's mind. The movie is about flowing menstrual blood covering someone, and they grow fur and they become a giant panda that starts twerking at a 13-year-old boy's birthday party for money. Yeah, I left that out, by the way, that the giant red panda becomes a plaything of entertainment for a 13-year-old rich boy so they can raise money to go see a boy band. So they start dancing and tackling and doing rides where the 13-year-old boy rides the red panda, the menstrual blood flowing little Chinese girl around the house, where he rides her around literally in exchange for $200 to buy tickets to a boy band. This is the fucking movie. Don't put women in charge of this shit. They cannot be trusted with entertainment. It's too sacred. They cannot do it. No, stop, Nick. This is the movie. The film provides, quote, a really good representation of adolescent parent relationships and adolescent development. No, Only if your mom is a Chinese tiger mom who runs like the sorry, the little Chinese girl is derided by her classmates as being an overachieving nerd who has to at multiple times abandon her friend to be with her overbearing mom so they can run like Chinese temple in Toronto and teach everybody about the red panda culture that hits Chinese women. I'm not kidding. This is it. It is it is blatantly ridiculous. But this is not a relatable story to most people because most children do not have Chinese tiger mom, right? Like that is not a thing that most people have. This girl's getting straight A pluses on every. The mom looks under the bed at one point and she sees papers and gasps. They're graded tests with a B plus on them. You could, if I made this joke, it would be offensive. But Tiger Mom gasps at the B plus papers. Tiger Mom, the little girl like trying to shove her diary under her bed. Her mom like opens the door and he's like, "Oh, good night, Daniel-san," or whatever. And the little girl's sitting there petrified. She's like, "Don't look down at your notebook. Don't look down. If you don't look down, you just keep looking your mom in the eye. She's not going to know that there's a notebook down there." But she glances down for 1/8 of a second. And the mom's like, "Oh, what is this?" And immediately opens up her notebook because she's an overbearing Chinese tiger mom. But this is a Chinese trope, right? We know that not all Chinese moms are doing this, right? Not every Chinese mom wants their kid to be a doctor. Some are okay if they're just a banker, as long as they make $1 million plus. But not every Chinese has to become a doctor. Some get master's degrees.